right, everybody. Hello and welcome to Cummings Cast episode 12 with my boy here, Mr. Derek Blazer.
Yes,
Got to start with the old high five. How we doing?
Good. How are you doing today?
I appreciate you representing the gold.
Yeah, had to put the colors on today.
Thank you. Let's start. And you have a lot of Blazer team products.
Yeah, too much.
I like it.
I'm stuck with you forever now because it had to cost me about $15,000 to.
Oh wow! All right, good. Well, I like that. All right. So Derek is technically based out of, I guess, our Canton office, right?
Yep.
But lives in Baltimore County, not too far from our Ruxton and Timonium office.
Right.
So
I bounce around all three of them.
You do bounce around a lot.
Yeah.
You do run a team. You've got
six people.
6 people. Yeah. I mean, you've got 6 different folks. All great folks too. A married couple and John Pell and Zach.
Yeah.
So run team. You have a full-time admin that works for you as well behind the scenes that
Yes.
manages a lot of your transaction management.
Yep. Sean O'Connell.
Okay. Yep. Good guy. And then so years in the business at this point?
It is year 8 right now.
Year 8. Okay.
Yes.
And what was the your production, team production? I guess about what do you typically normally do?
I think last year was 40 million team production.
Wow.
I think it was around 100 transactions.
Nice. Okay.
With
and
everybody.
Where do you fall in that? You're like 10 to 12 of that? 10
I
to
think
15?
about half of it probably.
20. You're close to 20 on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That's awesome. Good for you. Yeah. And that's pretty consistent too. I mean, you guys fell in the stats. Were you guys number 1 in your category this year?
Number 1, yeah.
Yeah, number 1 in your category.
Over 4 agents, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Number 1. Was that your first year getting number 1?
No, we got number 1 last year with a team of 3 also.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
and
thank
congratulations.
you. Thank you.
I'm just not keeping track too well these days.
No, you're good.
And then grew up in Baltimore?
So I was born in Baltimore. I was here till I was 5. I was down in Alexandria, Virginia with my mother, but my whole family was here.
Okay.
Moved back here when I was 18.
I've met your mom a few times.
Oh, yeah.
She's such a nice lady.
Yeah, she's great. She really is, keeps everything together and has been for a long time.
Yeah, she's raised you well.
Oh, very well.
You're still a charismatic, fun guy. As those that know the Blaze, Derek Trailblazer Blazer. He's a fun guy, but I think he's rooted in some good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your
my mother's great.
Salt of the earth.
Just spent the whole Memorial Day weekend with her down in Ocean City.
Did you? Good.
Yeah,
that's nice.
She's who you want to emulate.
Yes, she's a lovely lady. Every time I met her a few times now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So down in Virginia, and then came back up.
Yeah, came back when I was 18.
Okay.
I was a troubled youth, I think. So got in some trouble. High school said see you later, and moved up to Baltimore with my dad. So been here since Ocean City a couple summers.
Yeah,
and then moved to Canton when I was 21.
Okay,
and then got a job bartending at Clauda's.
Clauda's.
Yep.
Yeah,
exactly.
So you're sort of like famous from your days at Clauda's, I feel like.
Yeah, I was about 10 years or so on and off. Yeah,
21 to 31.
Yeah. I actually left Clauda's at 33. I had a little stint where I was over at as a general manager at Mad River Federal Hill for a couple of years, and then went back to Clauda's after that.
I'm sure that was mad.
Yeah, it was fun. It's like a personal playground. Took a few years off my life probably, but we had a good time doing it.
Right. So you met a lot of young folks.
Oh yeah, ton of people. Yep.
Yeah, I worked at the Green Turtle in Fells Point.
Right.
My first deal was my barback. Was my first transaction in Lock Raven Village.
Oh yeah.
And that kind of snowballed into other restaurant.
I was at my 21st birthday at Green Turtle in Fells Point.
Oh, yeah, me too. Never drink tequila again since then. I just can't do it. That's another story for another day. Then.
Yeah.
So we're working in the restaurant business, doing all things Clauda's for all that time, Mad River, and then were you just getting burnt out of that scene? Basically?
I was, I was 33. That I couldn't imagine doing anything else in my 20s. I loved it. Yeah, that's all I wanted to do was be behind the bar or at the bar and socializing and everything else. But it's a young man's game. Yeah, 33. The late nights were getting tiring. The mornings were harder to get up and get to the gym. So my knees hurt.
What spiraled you into real estate?
So I bought a couple properties. I bought my first one, my 25th birthday. I bought another one, property in Ocean City. Okay. And I sort of liked the process. I saw what the realtors were doing, and I kind of liked that hustle that they had. Yeah. I knew a couple other agents that got in to the business that had some
saved
success.
all your bartending tips on the store.
I wouldn't save all of them. I had some fun then too, but was pretty good about buying other properties and stuff.
Where did you start? You started at Remax, and you came to me. I
did.
Remax, right? You started at Remax.
Well, actually, I wanted to get out of the bar business, so I went for Baltimore City Fire Department. So I tried out for that, and then got my real estate license, and I figured whichever one was going to work out first.
Did you get in the fire department?
They called me after I'd been in real estate for 3 years, and I was,
had a spot.
I said I'm okay now. Thank you.
Yeah, gotcha. Individual agent at Remax or on a team?
No, on Ron Howard's team.
Ron Howard team.
So it was actually
great guy, great mentor.
He's a great, he was great, and I think when I was ready to get my license, I kind of decided it that morning.
Yeah.
And then he just came in to Coladas by himself at like 11 a.m. He was like the first customer.
Wow.
And I was like, I think this is fate. So I talked to him, and he just said, I'm sure a lot of people would approach him. He said, get your license and call me.
Yeah.
So I got my license. I think it took me a month. I just sat there and did the classes on the CE shop and then called him and then got on the team. Right. But he was a good mentor.
Gotcha. So what did you do, I guess, in the beginning for folks that are still early on in their career to grind? How did you get the word
out? So really just hitting my sphere of influence. I mean, luckily it was a pretty natural, easy transition from, being a bartender and bar business guy in Baltimore for 12 years.
Yeah.
I already knew half the city. I was at the right age where a lot of people were buying.
Yeah.
Homes.
Did they trust you as Derek Blazer, the real estate agent? Versus
I'd say, maybe 25%.
Yeah.
And then the rest of them, I think after I worked hard and actually did a decent job with a couple of them, then I started getting more referrals and everything, and it kind of snowballed from there.
Yeah, gotcha. And then I feel like you're very systematic though, because you have a connection from working in the restaurant industry with my girlfriend.
Yeah.
And, we receive Derek Blazer marketing material on a monthly basis.
Yeah. Very consistent.
So you do newsletter, you do oral magnets.
Yeah.
And I feel like you do like within the letter, you pretty much write out like a sort of status update of like the market in your life or whatever. It's not just like, here's a blank.
Yeah. We try to be a little creative and try to, instead of people getting the mail and throwing it right in the trash, they actually want to open it and see what's inside.
Yeah.
Yeah. But try to stay consistent with that.
And then is that mainly done by your admin guy?
No, actually go with PRMI helps me with that.
Okay.
Laura Nagel and Bronwyn Dunk with Joe Audition.
Yeah.
They really put those together. I have all the teams. Sphere of influence, tracked in a CRM.
Okay.
And then we send those out and we sort of work together and seeing what we're going to send out monthly, but try to make it creative, try to make it on brand.
Yeah.
Try to keep people opening and engaged.
Yeah. So your lender with Primary Residential Mortgage basically helps you guys with that monthly mailer.
They do.
Gotcha. And then how many people are in that sphere between the team and the stuff that they're helping you with?
All together, I think we have 600 maybe.
Wow.
700.
Okay.
I think I have 400 on my own. I think the other team has another 400. So there's a lot of them going out.
Yeah, that's great. And then, all right. So in the early days, you kind of worked off of your sphere, and what other ways have you sort of done things to sort of gain business?
Yes.
I want to get into some of your video work shortly.
Okay, good.
But I'm just curious, like, from your perspective, how it all like sort of snowballed.
Yeah, I mean, I've done everything there is under the sun. I've done Zillow, Realtor.com, Homes.com.
How'd they go?
I break even every time.
Every time break even.
Yeah, and it's just not my style. I know a lot of people have a lot of success with it.
Yeah.
But I've never been like the chaser. I sort of wanted to do all the right things and then have incoming
people come to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there are definitely are people that are great with the Zillow leads and stuff.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's everybody has like the different bucket that works for them.
Yep.
So you're more of put yourself into the building the relationships, keeping the touch points throughout the year going, and then with those touch points and building the relationships.
Exactly.
Basically, the phone rings and says, "I, can you help so and so.
Yeah,
I want to send you to so and so."
Yep, I think it's a lot of consistent branding, marketing, and then personal touches. So then, if I'm sending you guys the mailer and hitting you with a phone call, sending a birthday card every year, stuff like that, and then you see the content on social media and the funny stuff, they're going to say, "Oh, that's my guy right there. He's that's a good video, blah, 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 whatever else." So, and then it sort of solidifies.
Right. You do post social media based on, your properties and stuff that you're listing, clients you've helped. I feel like you definitely do a lot of settlement photos.
Yes.
People at the table.
So, yep.
See at different offices or title companies.
All the time.
Posting like, congrats to so-and-so.
Yeah.
Listings, posting of your listings. And then you do some video work.
Yes.
So let's give me your perspective of your social media. I feel like you're definitely very active on business and personal.
Yeah.
A lot of stories.
Yeah. Try to keep it, every listing is definitely going to get posted.
Yeah.
As many good pictures as I can, sort of a write up of it. settlement pictures and everything usually is on the story, not on actual page.
Okay, yeah.
Just to not fill, the entire page with sold signs and stuff like that, which is fine, but I just don't. And then I like to, to do the skits because they're fun.
Yeah.
And every time we get together and do it, we're like, I can't believe this is what we're doing for a job today.
Yeah. So you're doing like 2 or 3 videos a month?
Three a month. And then we started doing a couple on our own also. So we're trying to get up to, 8 a month or so.
Gotcha. And these aren't just all listing videos. Some of them are listing videos?
Yeah, some every once in a while I'll do a listing videos.
Yeah.
I've been doing the speed walkthrough videos also just because it's just me and Brody, my son.
Okay.
And he can kind of help me and we have a good time doing it. And they're good because it's less than a minute, keeps you engaged, and you can knock it out pretty quickly.
So your son's helping you on his iPhone, basically doing sort of the speed walkthrough of listings. Yeah. Okay. And is he graduating right now?
No, he's going into senior year.
Senior year,
yeah.
All right. He's a Calvert Hall boy.
Calvert Hall, yeah.
Blue and gold. Well, I'm blue. We're the Cummings blue and gold. I'm
but, I got my blue and gold on here. I didn't go to Calvert Hall.
Yeah. No, I'm happy he seems like he's doing well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you use a lot of sort of like, you do different skits. You do different, like there was one video where you sort of did like the Dumb and Dumber where you actually like.
Yeah, that was a funny one.
Rented a limousine.
Yep.
From that one scene in Dumb and Dumber where he rolls down the window, sticks his head out.
Yeah.
And you guys had a whole sort of
we had Jessica Croninger in there as the Austrian girl from Dumb and Dumber, but she was doing a Baltimore accent, of course.
Gotcha.
Instead, but that limo actually belonged to the Royal Blue bar, and they would like pick people up and everything.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
we filmed it outside there.
Yeah, like I think everybody has a different strategy, and I think for you, your personality, your spear. These videos that are sort of humorous have worked out well. I see some stuff on social media sometimes where I'm sort of cringing, where I'm like, not done well. But you're doing it with you're not doing it with your phone. Like these type of videos are done professionally. They're edited professionally.
Yep.
They look good.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming, have gotten the feedback and people look at it.
Yeah.
It's funny. They like it. They still look at you as a professional, though, I feel like.
Yeah, they do. I believe so. I hope so. I'm sure that some people are going to be like, what's that idiot doing over here? But for the most part, it's working.
Right. I feel like for your sphere, your network, I've come to your holiday party. Like I kind of like your friends, your social network is not going to say, well, I'm not going to use Derek because I looked at that as not professional.
Right.
But like, if I did it, I don't know, maybe it made people like think differently of me. But I feel like you've had that sort of comical sort of delivery and it's done well since the very beginning, so I feel like it's working well for you.
Yeah, I think sometimes when I put together one of the professional ones, they'd be like, who the heck is that guy?
Gotcha.
Where did he show up?
Gotcha. All right, well, like what else have you done that you feel like has worked well? And then is there any things that any bombs, any failures that you're like, I don't do that anymore? Obviously Brazil and all that was a break even.
Yeah, break even, but I feel like that was more of a time suck.
Okay.
So break even financially wise, but time wise, it might have cost 10 or so hours a week chasing leads around and doing whatever else, and that's time you could spend doing anything else. Either work, family.
Right. Any other sort of bombs that didn't work out so well that you no longer do that you used to put a lot of effort towards?
Not quite. No.
Anything that's going really well that you're putting more effort towards these days?
More the investing side. I think that's a good steady stream of income, whether you're working with investors or doing it yourself.
Yeah.
Because
you don't rental properties yourself.
Yep. You have 14 doors for the rental properties.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. I mean, I definitely try to encourage, like, especially our younger crew, to start considering properties now. Don't spend your money on all the fun things that you want in life. Spend them on the properties so that by the time you're a bit older, they're all paid off. Yeah, and you're not stressing about money when you're getting close to retirement.
Yeah, exactly.
Retirement.
It's nice after 5 years goes by pretty quickly, and you see what a difference it makes in your bottom line after 5 years when you have a couple and
so you've invested in your own. I know you were telling me about your beach place. It's been 12 years and it's getting close to being paid off.
Yep. Getting there.
It's amazing how that goes, where you think you're paying too much when you initially buy something.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like you were saying, you paid $160 for it. Now it's worth like $500.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's always better to have it than not to have it.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you just because you pay more than the listing price doesn't mean you're overpaying for it. If the value's there, then it's worth it.
I'm a strong believer in that as well.
Yeah.
And then working with investors you found has been helpful, especially I guess right now in this market where a lot of buyers and sellers are holding tight on their 3% interest rates
Oh
and not
yeah,
wanting to move. We're still in that tight inventory thing.
exactly.
What
Yeah,
type of investors are you working with? People that are looking to renovate and sell, or
yeah.
rentals?
Really more of the flippers,
Yeah,
just because they're nice because you might get a small commission when they buy the property, but
yeah,
then obviously a larger one once they sell, and you get
yeah,
a really nice turnkey, beautiful property. You can
yeah.
stage, kind of have some fun with it, do some videos.
Yeah. So the investor sort of deal, like, I worked with a lot of investors when I was selling, is sort of like if you find them the renovation and sell property, the flip or whatever you want to
Yes,
call it, that they'll list it with you.
yes.
Yeah. I mean, do you establish something in writing like
No,
from the get go?
handshake agreement.
Handshake
Yep.
agreement. Has anybody ever screwed you on that?
Um, no. I mean, yes and no, a little bit. Not
Yeah.
not like it was a blatant screw
Yeah.
you. Actually, yes, they have. Now that I think about it,
I
but
don't want to go too deep and I don't want to name any
yeah,
names
no
because it
problem.
may be public, but like, yeah, I feel like sometimes it's like, they end up going over budget and
Yep.
then they want to list the house for too
Oh
much
yeah. So
because
I've been in that
because they're over
situation.
budget,
Yep.
and then you're not getting the house sold because it's overpriced,
Yep.
and then they want to fire you, and
Well,
you're the one
that's
that found
definitely happened.
and
Yeah.
you're the one that found the house.
Yeah.
Yeah. So have you ever thought about putting something in writing where it's like, hey, if you overprice, you're still going to list with me for 6 months,
No,
guarantee?
just because if I get
Because I don't
burned
like to
like
see
that,
I don't like to see you get screwed,
no,
basically.
it's okay. If you get screwed, I know it's not on me.
Hmm.
I learned my lesson from working with someone like that, and
Yeah.
then next time I find a good deal, that
It's not going to go to
it's
them.
not going to go to them.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's the one like little thing I always worried about was like, them going over budget. Like I would always try to get them a good deal on the way in, obviously,
Yeah,
because if it's
it's
not going to
definitely
work,
happened though.
yeah. But
Yeah,
then they go, city permits take too long, whatever it may be,
exactly.
goes over budget, they got overpriced, and then that kind of creates some restraint. But for the most part, most of those relationships go really well.
Most of them,
If
yes.
they do a good job, they know what they're doing, they get it done on
And
time, they
and you
resell, and
stick
you
to the after renovation value that you focused on
focused
at
on.
the beginning.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes it goes too long. It takes a year, and then you have to overprice it just
Yeah,
to so and sometimes they're at break even overpricing,
yeah.
which is tough, but it just doesn't work
Um,
that way.
you still working with buyers?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
You still work with
absolutely.
buyers.
Yep.
All right, good. And we're like all areas? Like where
Yeah,
are you finding your
they're
buyers these
really
days?
all sphere of influence, all
Yeah.
past clients, referrals, people
Yeah.
that I know.
Yeah.
But more first time home buyers, downsizers, stuff like that right now,
Yeah.
just because the people that are moving up are few and far between. Just
Yeah.
who's going to sell a $400,000
Yeah.
house at a 3%
Right.
interest rate and buy one
Yeah.
double for 7?
So do you enjoy working with buyers still? Because I know just like being a team leader, doing that much business, is it
Right.
stressful to work with buyers, or do you enjoy working with buyers?
It is sometimes if they're way out there.
Yeah.
And you're driving to say an hour away once a week.
Yeah.
And really, I mean that you got to dedicate a half or a whole day
Yeah.
to the buyers sometimes, which is a lot. Especially when you have the team going on and other investment things going on, and
Yeah.
a son that wants to play golf every day and stuff like that. It sort of eats into that time.
Your son does like to play golf, it seems like.
Yeah, yeah,
But you're still working with them, and you still make it work. I mean, you set some sort of expectations with them in terms of your availability if they're looking way far out and everything.
yeah. I think
It's always like a challenge. I always
Yeah.
want to hear how different people approach it.
Really, and I talk about it all the time with the team. Setting expectations on all aspects, all around the board, is one
Yeah.
of the biggest parts of our jobs, I think.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest parts that frees us from more difficult conversations in the future in the
Yeah.
process. So if you sort of set expectations for home inspections, buying, listing, the whole nine, and let them know, these are the possibilities. This is what could happen.
Yeah.
Here's how you should react, et cetera, then, you're sort of doing yourself and your client a disservice
If you're not,
if you don't do that.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to home inspections, if you don't have that initial talk with them,
Yes.
seller will
talk before you even have the inspection.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and
So
if
are
it's
you
a
doing that
buyer, you
on
say
the phone or when they're writing the contract, or like how do you?
it just depends on when
The
it is.
situation,
You know,
yeah.
like let's talk about home inspections real quick. If you're
Yeah.
a buyer, I'll say usually on a buyer's side, you can't ask for the whole thing. If you pay an inspector $500, they're going to find a whole list of things that are wrong. Pick your maybe your 3 to 5 to 7 things that are your sticking points,
Yeah.
and have them do that.
Right.
If you ask for the whole list, the seller is going to get offended and start picking and choosing what they want done. It's probably not going to be what you want done. And then same with the seller side. they live in the house for 10 years. There's nothing wrong with the house in their opinion, but when they get a list of 12 things, then they're all pissed off and they want to cancel the deal. So if you sort of set the expectations
On
before
both
that,
sides.
that's just the home inspection. I think it goes like sort of on all
Yeah,
accounts.
now we're back in more home inspection world. I mean, right now it's May, it's spring market, so there's some multiple offers.
That was great when we didn't have to deal with it for a few years, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely, when I worked with my buyers, it used to be like, hey, you can't get out. Like, you can make repair requests, but you can't just say, I have inspection, I want to cancel.
Yeah.
Now we're kind of back with the addendum, having that ability, which kind of creates a little less conflict. But, to get them to not want to back out after the home inspection.
Yeah.
I think it's important to talk to them
absolutely
about that. Like, yes, this home inspector is being paid. Yeah. Their job is to kind of find things, but not everything they find is catastrophic and going to be worth you walking away. And the next house you go to is also going to have its own set of challenges.
Exactly.
So I wholeheartedly think that, how important it is to like really sort of educate the buyer on, like, yes, you can get out, so we're not trying to, just sell you a house that you don't think is up to your standards. You can get out, but these are things that like we see in home inspections all the time. Like, Federal Pacific electric panel in Canton properties, termite damage in certain older homes, whatever.
Right.
Sewer lines that are leaking in, that have terracotta pipe in Rogers Forge or whatever it may be.
Exactly.
So definitely educating them on home inspection. I think that's great. And then even sellers too. Like I always used to say, like, seller, like if it's, I would just kind of say like expect 1%. So if it's a $500,000 house, expect that they're going to want something that's probably going to cost up to like $5,000 back.
Right. Yep.
And then from there, if you do less than $5,000, then you're happy.
Yeah.
If it's a little bit more, it's not like a huge shock. Oh my gosh, they want 7,500. Well, they've already had baked in their head. I'm Dave or Derek already told me like to probably expect $5,000 on a $500,000 house. It's this much of square footage, this much roof, this like when things are needing repair.
Sure.
It's not a skinny little $300,000 townhouse roof. So I definitely am a big fan of that sort of mindset of like the education process of this whole thing is really where a lot of our value comes into play.
Absolutely.
Other like new things on the horizon for you using the AI, like what are you into?
I'm using ChatGPT for just about everything now.
Okay.
I mean,
how's it helping you in real estate?
In real estate, it's cleaning up some of the pictures. Some of the times,
you're putting pictures in it.
Yep.
And like it's making them like
you can get rid of some of if it's an investment deal, like there's a 2-unit that had a bunch of trash in it. The appliances were in there.
Yeah.
So I took a bunch of pictures and I said, get rid of all the trash, put appliances in here, and then give them back to me so we can get it listed for rent.
Okay. So you're taking an investment style property,
yep,
taking pictures on your phone, not hiring professional photography.
Not all the time. This is just for this exact instance.
Yeah, for this instance. But you're able to like not have to, for a very beat up house, I guess we're talking.
Yes.
You're able to take the pictures on your phone, put them into ChatGPT because you're paying the extra.
$20 a month.
$20 a month, right?
Yep.
You're able to put those pictures in there, clean it up a little bit, and put a product out online without having to do all the scheduling, coordination, costs of a professional photographer. I think that's smart.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't do that with all of them because I have it was just in this instance because I was trying to get tenants in there before June 1st.
Yeah, right. You're one of your own rentals, this kind of thing.
Yep.
Gotcha. Clients, more professional photography.
Oh yeah, 100%. I wouldn't do that with the clients. But it's mine, and
I'm picturing like a hoarder's house when you're telling me.
No. It's not that bad. It was a pretty decent looking house, but there was some building materials somewhere, and then no appliances were installed yet, so I had them put in. But
gotcha. All right, using AI for that.
Yep.
Any listing remarks I know is big.
Yeah, listing remarks.
Anything
doing
else?
that. Even for the videos that we're doing.
Yeah.
If you need some puns in there.
Okay.
Like Zach and I did this. It was like a meathead video that we haven't posted yet.
Oh boy.
But we're you're just talking to it and you say, give me 10 puns that have to do with real estate and meathead kind of mentality, and then gave a whole list of puns that actually worked pretty well.
Oh, I love it.
Other than that, I've actually used it for some CMAs a few times.
Okay.
I would still kind of go back in and look to it, but if you just say, give me a CMA on 123 Main Street,
it
literally gives you comps, explanation, why they chose the comps, all that stuff, which it's probably more of a zestimate, but it's a decent starting point.
Yeah, you use starting point, and then you'll go into Bright and do the whole thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. So those are two good. That's interesting and good. No, I haven't heard anybody saying just like, give me comps for this property, right?
Yeah, it works though.
And give it without going into Bright. Interesting. Yeah. No, obviously you verify. Any fun vacations this summer? Any fun facts for us?
Yeah, I got a couple of vacations. Going to Tennessee with the family. Going to Nag's Head with my dad's side of the family.
Nice. That's like an annual, right?
Yeah, they're annual. Going on one of my buddy's 40th birthday to Mexico tomorrow. Actually, we have a golf tournament coming up June 20th.
Okay.
That's it's a charity golf tournament. I think we have.
What charity do you support for this?
Extreme Family Outreach Program.
Okay.
It's a nonprofit that helps families up and down the Route 40 corridor.
So this is
Baltimore County,
a
Baltimore
Derek
City.
Laser golf tournament, fundraiser golf tournament, and this is how many years that you've had this?
This is the second annual.
Second annual.
Yep.
Gotcha. What course do you guys host?
We're going to be at Mountain Branch this year.
Branch.
Last year Woodlands, this year Mountain Branch.
Okay.
Which I think is more appropriate for the organization we're raising money for.
That's awesome. And then how many people do you have come to this?
Last year was 128.
Okay. This is mostly your Spear and clients is the gist?
Yep. Sphere, clients, realtors, lenders, title folks.
But
yeah, whoever wants to play. I mean, it's a good time. We have a lot of different giveaways. We're going to do a hole-in-one. You can win a car.
Yeah.
One of the closest to the pin is hot sauce for a year.
Okay.
There's all kind of stuff that we got on the course.
So last year was your first year putting that event together.
Yeah.
And so
it was a trial run. Now we can perfect it.
Yeah. So it was successful enough that you want to keep doing it?
Yeah, it's fun. It was a good day. It was fun
right.
getting geared up for it, getting everybody involved, and then, the execution of the day is just you kind of hands off and relax and go around.
Is that I'm assuming that's kind of your main event for the year, business wise.
That and the Christmas party. We've been to a couple years.
Yeah. So Derek, he does a Christmas party at his house.
Yep.
He's actually taking the book out of my little page, which I thought was really funny. He said to me, he's like, I walked in his house this year. He was at the front, shaking everybody's hand, giving out a little party favor. He said, I'm doing what you do because you always try to greet people at your Christmas party. I'm like that. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah, the year before I was sitting and half the people I didn't even talk to or anything else. So at least when you're greeting people, you get to talk to everyone at least once.
Yeah. You have a great Christmas, so kind of like a 2-point touch, a wintertime touch and a summertime outdoor party.
Exactly.
And that kind of keeps your sort of crew, your Spear, and everybody close.
Absolutely.
All right, well, guys, if you have any questions for Derek or whatever about how he's built his business or anything you want to ask him about, how he runs his golf tournament, all that stuff, I'm sure he'd be willing to chit-chat with you. And I appreciate your time today. Thank you. Episode 12. Check us out on Spotify as well now.
Cool.
Cummings Cast. All right, thank you, guys.
Thanks, Dave.
Have a good one.
Yep, Steve, brother.